Welcome to the Channeling Spirit Virtual Summit, a platform where we have invited Spirit to share messages, healings, and transmissions with all of us. May this energetic experience help us to expand our awareness and to deepen the relationship we have with our higher self, our spiritual team, and with Source, however we define them. Thank you for being here and for taking part in this amazing journey. Hello and welcome to the Channeling Spirit Virtual Summit. My name is Daniel Martinez Stahl. This is Season 7, Episode 7 with Florentine. Florentine's been with us quite a few times. She's been with us from the beginning, so it's always a great pleasure to welcome her back. So welcome, Florentine. And as always, I will let you introduce yourself and then we will go from there.
Yes. Hi. So, first, thank you so much for being here because there's so much choice nowadays, and it's a honor that you tuned in right now on this beautiful summit. Daniel presents every couple of months the Channeling Spirit Virtual Summit. You know something? To me, it's a difficult name, but I've practiced, Daniel, and. But it's truly a honor, and I really see the audience growing and the attention it's generating, and thanks so much for inviting me again. And today I like to talk about Mermaid, using secrets of the divine feminine to evolve. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Florentine. I'm founder of Bubbles for Your Soul. I'm a soul level healer, coach, and mentor. And I am as well an intuitive animal communicator, published author, and I always love to, just to share the wisdom we all have and own. So I do encourage all of you to react, to put questions in the chat or your insights or your aha moments, because it makes for a much more and lively presentation. I took notes, so they're here in front of me. So whenever you see my eyes going down, it's because I like to check that I'm not forgetting everything. And today, before we start, I like to do a very quick calibration. So to settle, like Daniel just did for himself, I like to invite all of you. Take care when you're driving or operating heavy machinery. But for the rest of us, just close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath through your nose. Inhale and allow this beautiful light and love to spread through your body. And exhale with sound to let go of all you have had to done before being able to tune in over here. And another inhale, deep inhale. And breathe in the joy and fun and playfulness of Mermaid. And let go of the heaviness and the worries. And for another time, just breathe in that powerful ancient being. And we're starting here already to connect to her and let go of all the heaviness. And while you're doing that, I'd like you to put your attention to your heart. Because just by tapping it and by breathing the way we do, we are synchronizing ourselves with the rhythm of Mother Earth and the complete universe. And that's always such a beautiful feeling, such an expanded state of being. And at the same time, just notice your grounding cord located at the base of your spine, wending its way down, down, down through all the layers of Mother Earth. The beautiful layers of roots, the silt layers, the water layers, the crystal layers, and down, down, down it goes. And notice in your own specific way that it's locking into the core of Mother Earth. So she will be able to send up all her beautiful encouragement, wisdom, and knowing towards you, cleaning and clearing as she does. And now I'd like you to return to this beautiful moment and where we will going to start to talk about mermaids. So open your eyes be here. And Mermaid, really, Mermaid is such a fascinating being. Every time I talk about Mermaid, I see eyes lightening up and people being, oh, Mermaid, I love Mermaid. Well, of course, there are some glassy looks, but those are mostly from the people who are not really tuned into those kind of beings. And let's face it, there are more people out there who are not really tuning into the spiritual past than there are. So I applaud all of you to do so. And I was wondering, what's her powers? Because she is a very ancient, powerful being. She was known already in well, Syrian time, well, ages ago. There are pictures depicting her, and she's known throughout all cultures, and that really that pleasured me, because she's not just an imaginary being. Of course, we can take her as an archetype, because and what are goddesses and other beings, others than archetypes, living within our subconscious and other consciousness. And oh, I'm sorry, my mouse is dropping over because I've never ever met another Florentine who was not my mother. So hi, Carly. and um, and she's really she's powerful. She's ancient, and she is so full of fun and laughter and beauty and gracefulness in my eyes. There's a complete history, and as well, there is a little bit of a discussion. Is a mermaid only for the salt waters? Is she as well for other bodies of water? To me, it doesn't matter at all. It's just about to whom we are connecting and how does she express herself to us. And that's, of course, always the question. How are we preserving the guides showing up for us? How do they want and like to serve us? And to me, what I was thinking is Mermaid has such a lightness of being, but she never gets superficial. She is really she's totally capable, if we want to lead us with joy and grace towards the bottom of the ocean, where we can uncover and access, acknowledge, recover those hidden gifts. And those hidden gifts for me are always those emotional gifts, that all the gifts we know already. We have been working on in other lifetimes, throughout the years of this life, in alternate lifetimes. So she always helps us to dive deep and to get it up again, to allow it to bubble through us. And that connects, of course, to bubbles for your soul. And as well, she will tell you, okay, it's a deep dive. It's not always pleasurable. It's not always fun. Sometimes we just feel that we must do it. And of course, Mermaid is able to breathe under the water. So it's a little bit more easy for her just to see where she's going. She can read it all. But she tells it, after doing this, there's so much joy coming up, and that will permeate all of us. And that's the magic of a mermaid to me, the joy. By the way, Mermaid is really able to turn into and to get into a terrible rage whenever she feels that her essence is being sacrificed or being denied to her. She will turn, and she is totally capable of destroying and by the waves and drowning a man. And oh, I do hope my computer will keep on working, because I've got some problems. Yeah, I hope you can see me still. And now is the question, of course, what's the archetype of mermaids towards the being, towards the divine feminine? I'm sorry, I have to play with my screen because something is very wrong here. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, can you see me?
You're at the very bottom of the screen.
I can't hear you very well. But as long as you can hear me, I'm just going to continue and try to get the screen working again.
Yeah.
Can
you lower the screen a little bit? Can you lower the camera a little bit?
Of course I can.
A little bit more.
As long as, because I can't see anything. So if there's anything in the chat,
right there.
please tell me. Okay,
Perfect.
here I am.
There you are.
Good. This is weird. So, the divine feminine, and I like to talk about that a little bit before. We did it more last year. And the divine feminine, it wasn't something that was really important to me till a few years ago. I've been grown up as the oldest a part of a twin. My other twin is a brother. He's 20 minutes younger than I am, and that always helped me through life. So I always felt a little bit superior. And the funny thing is, we were both giving the same toys. Yeah, we shared same crib, the same crib, same playpen, and I gravitated towards the dolls and stuffed animals. My brother gravitated towards noisy engines and things like that. Later, I liked to read my books under a tree. My brother loved to climb the trees. I grazed my knees while roping, and my brother, just had always supported, always had injuries because he was out there and doing all kinds of adventures in unknown buildings and well, who were not permitted to enter and everything like that. And as well, I've grown up in a family and where my parents, they were really proud of me. My father specifically, so he was always encouraging me to do the best I could. And uh, as a result, I was the first going to university in the extended family, and well, I obtained my LLM in law as well. So to me, it was okay. I was a girly female, so this was divine feminine, and this is it. Of course, it wasn't like that, and the attention was drawn towards this when I was supporting a group of mentoring a group, and those beautiful ladies were asking me about the divine feminine. And I was just sitting there and pondering and thinking, okay. And then I discovered, of course, being female has nothing to do with that beautiful ray of the God of sent out by all that is the divine feminine. The divine feminine exists in all sentient beings. It doesn't matter how they look like or what they sympathize with or who they are. It's there as the masculine is, the divine masculine. And then I started to jump and getting very interested into the divine feminine. And there are some traits, there are a lot of traits, but well, of course, the divine feminine is for peace, for abundance, for calm, for creativity, to be able to be in the void, for intuition, healing. She's receptive, she's spiritual, she's accepting, she goes with the flow, so hopefully. And then there is the divine masculine. And the divine masculine, what is being shared as well with, well, in all sentient beings. And it's being shared as well in a tree, in a rock. And by the way, Anna Maria will talk about rocks after this session. And I really like you to implore you to go and listen to her. She's such a beautiful, wise woman. And but you can find those two traits, the divine feminine, the divine masculine, in every sentient being all over this earth, wherever, and it's just waving its way through the universe. And the masculine is more about purposeful. It's more about the confidence, the ambition, the feeling in charge of life, the integrity, and the divine feminine won't be able to do anything without the divine masculine. Just sitting comfortably in the void is beautiful, love it, thinking beautiful thoughts, but well, some things need to be done in a lifetime. So there's an asking and a demanding for a balance between the divine feminine, the divine masculine. Well, looking around in this world nowadays, we can all see that both divine energies are completely out of whack. I know things are happening because, well, the space needs to come in for the new world, for the new dimensions. Even so, both energies are wounded, extremely wounded. And it's up to us to reinforce and to grow our understanding and our being in both energies. But today I will concentrate on divine feminine. And that's as well because when you are healing one, incorporating one, the other one will follow. and it will just wend its way upwards like this, like a snake. And those crossing points, they are the moments that there's a new balance, and we can use them as stepping stones to usher ourselves and the world and the universe up and up and up, to level up. And it's always so within, so without, so below, so above. So it's just working with the divine feminine for ourselves will really be helpful for all of us, and to, of course, to evolve and to align to our spiritual paths. A very convenient way and an accessible way of noticing how you are standing at this very moment. Are you more open to the feminine or the masculine energy? Is the famous alternate yoga breathing and nostril breathing. And I prefer to put my middle finger, you can just follow me by doing this, just put my middle finger on my third eye, close my left nostril with my thumb, and breathe in through my right nostril. Easy, calm, into the third eye. And just breathe out through the left nostril. Open it. And breathe in through the left nostril. Allow it to flow through the third eye. And exhale by opening your right nostril. And you may notice after a couple of breathing, a cycle of breathings, that at this very moment your left nostril may be more open, the Ida, because that's or the right one, and it does change throughout the day. So it's just beautiful to note. Okay, so no judgment. I'm right here or I'm right there, and there are more beautiful practices. One is just to one has been brought to me by Denise Munch, and it's like the eagle pose in yoga. You cross your one leg over the other, you strangle your arms around, wrap your arms around it, palms facing, and rest your hands again, your third eye. And now just notice the beautiful golden energy on your breath, just wending and as well snaking again down into Mother Earth and being sent up again. And I'm doing this very quick, but you can take your time doing this and just to take all the energies from up above and down below and just feel them calibrating your balance. And as I said before, it's important. We are in changing times, and everyone talks about it as well. And it's beautiful just to have some instruments to help this balance to come in. It's one of the, as I said before, one of the foundations. And but mermaid really will help us to level up our divine feminine. And I like you all just to do it very quickly. When you think of mermaid, what are you seeing? What are you envisioning? And I'm sorry I can't read the chat. I hope you say some things in the chat. But what is your impression of mermaid? Just think of her for this very moment. Close your eyes. Tune into mermaid. How does mermaid shows herself to you right now? And just take that with you.
Mary Beth enters beauty.
Yes, beauty. Yeah, that's a beautiful, and that's and I love that answer because she is beautiful. She is such a beautiful being, and she's beautiful because she's totally herself as well. She uses her tools. To me, a mermaid. When I envision mermaid, she's sitting on a rock. She's combing that beautiful long hair. She is there. She's living in that watery world, and she's just sitting on that rock. She noticed her tail just swishing a little bit through the waters, feeling the warm waters, and she has adorned her body with some pearls, and she's singing, listening to her own song, and she's combing her hair. And the combing of her hair as well is providing her with strength. because hair is a symbol of strength. And the comb of a mermaid consists of fish bones. And fish bones is being told so that she can forecast disasters. She knows where to go. It's giving her a lot of power to comb her hair. So she's sitting there just being in her own beautiful universe, being beautiful. Yes, Maribeth, she is beautiful. And I'm so happy you're here, by the way, Maribeth. Thank you. And and there are I've done this exercise more often with people, and people say beauty, of course, peace, serenity, joyful. She's just having fun and being herself.
Kelly
And
adds calm and confident, and then
yes,
Mary Beth continues with comfortable in her own skin.
yes, and I think this all is really capturing as well an important part of the essence of the mermaid. And she's well, as I see her as well, she's a powerful divine being, feminine. She does live life on her conditions, and she feels totally at ease with that. She feels totally at ease in her life with her emotions, with her sexuality, her sensuality, because that's a part of a mermaid as well. uh, she is very at ease with her capricious nature, her capacity to love totally. And this is as well, to love totally. This is huge. Not a lot of people are able to love totally. She is. She can guide us with that without putting shields on, just to love. And she shows us as well how to embrace our individual, personal essence of the divine feminine, and to pay attention to that wisdom, that deep, deep spiritual wisdom of our bodies. And our bodies, they're such a beautiful instrument to unlock our intuition and to receive the messages. When we know our bodies, when we know how they react, we know what's ours, what isn't ours, what doesn't belong to us. And as well, what are the messages? How do they make themselves known in your body? Is there a tingle? Maybe your left shoulder starts to jerk, things like that, chicken skin. And she as well symbolizes our deepest connection to our intuition, and that to me is such a beautiful gift of mermaids. And maybe you like to visit her worlds and just to be there and to soak it all in, because the more you know about mermaid, the more you are able to connect to her, and we get back to that later. You will be able to receive her gifts and to really enter her being. She's wild, she's free, she's adventurous, and to me, when I picture her world, it's bluish greenish. It's water filtered through the sun is filtered through the waters, and so a kind of diamond light structures are being um, it's shaped in the water, painted in the waters, and playing over her skin. She plays with the dolphins. She likes to ride on the dolphins. There are tortoises around her, taking her if whenever she wished to take a ride to the land of the fairies to visit them. She loves to go to Grandmother Whale, who is the blue keeper, a print keeper of this world, and holding the memory of what's to come, and to share in all the wisdoms. She loves to play with the seahorses. She loves to visit the gardens of coral. There are castles where the sea goddess, the queen of the mermaids, is living. And it's just such a fascinating world. And in a way, it's mirroring our world, but without the heaviness, because there's no gravity. So it's light. It's all light, and as well, that's where the star realm comes in as well. The sea realm of mermaids really mirrors the star realms, the universe, and it's very. That's one of the ways mermaid wants to work with me nowadays, just to support me to spin, 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 and flick my tail and jump, flipping into the galactic and the universe, so I can bring back the the communication, what are needed for that moment. And there's no gravity in the universe either, so it's all part of it. And the story goes, as I've heard it, that a long time ago, mermaids, merfolk, because they're mermen too, they arrived from Lemurian in Atlantis. And first they were really looked upon as being, well, you know, how you receive magical guests or in awe, and but there came more. And as we see nowadays as well in Atlantis, well, more in Atlantis, and that we can relate to nowadays society. And at a certain moment, the Atlanteans, they really became a little bit, well, anxious, and they wanted to know their secrets, and they forced mer people just or to choose of being, because they were able to shapeshift. They were able to live in the water and to live on the land, and they were forced to shapeshift, to choose, would they want to live in the water or would they want to live on land. And the Atlanteans were really well, they really wanted to know their secrets. And in the end, well, Atlanteans, some of them really, merfolk, were willing to give up their essence and allow their spine to be severed. So they kept the legs, and the other ones were just forced into the waters. In the meantime, when Atlantis just went under, a lot of mer people took the wisdom with them to hold it sacred. So that was as well the beautiful part of merfolk. And of course, there are Atlanteans who were not corrupted and who were sent out to keep the wisdom with them and to share it in now times with us as well. Mermaid is fluid, very fluid. She is, her aspects are all, she's a wise woman, she's a healer, she protects. In between the 1600s and the 1900s, at least here in Europe, it was a norm to, not every ship had it, but a lot of ships, they had a mermaid as a figurehead in front of the ship. And that was because people believed that she would protect them. She was able to read the waters and to navigate a safe journey, so there would be no shipwrecks. There is, as well as Mary Beth and I forgot your name, told us there's beauty, there's a serenity, there's a peace. She is all about manifestation, as I said, a powerful healer. She's impulsive and she's very empathic. And as I said, she's fluid. You can't hold her. She's like water in the cups of your hand. When you want to hold water, it will just flow away. She shifts, and that's one of her gifts as well. She's able to shift, and that's something she can help and support us with. She thinks freedom is truly, truly important, and she will never give herself away in order to please others. She takes her responsibility for herself on her slender shoulders, but she isn't willing to take the responsibility of other beings on her shoulders. She figures, okay, everyone can do so. This is how you should act in life. And just by doing so and noticing and seeing fully the other as being capable of being of solving their own issues and problems and diving deep, she doesn't underestimate them. She doesn't undermine their power, their strengths. That she just is there, and she is who she is. And that's for me, it's such a beautiful example to be, just to see everyone in the light and the beauty and the love that they truly are, and to know that everyone is capable of living life according to their norms. Mermaid as well doesn't allow her a sense of self-esteem, of self-reliance, of whatever she wants to do, to allow it to be undermined by others. If other people doesn't like what she's doing, it's their problem, but not hers. If she wants to sing, and we know all that Mermaid can lure people by her singing, it's up to the other to put some wax in their ears, as Odysseus did in his journeys, and not to be lured by her. She can't allow herself to be less than she is. And there are diverse types of mermaids. There are more probably, I just mentioned a few. And there are, as I said, there is some controversial. Do some belong to mermaid or not? To me, they belong to mermaid because they're beautiful beings of the water. And the first one was Antargis. And Antargis, she is the wise woman. She's the healer. She's the goddess. She lived a long time ago, and she has been depicted in grots of caves of the Red Sea. And she was a beautiful goddess, a moon goddess, always moon, as Mermaid is related to the moon as well. And Antargus fell in love with a shape, with taking care of sheep or goats, and a man. Something happened to him, and out of grief she caused his death, and out of grief she threw herself into the waters, and there she was granted to become a mermaid. She's very powerful, and to me she is the queen of the mermaids nowadays. And when you want to call her in, well, you can call her in for a lot of stuff, but she will work as well with your heart chakra. She will use her wand topped with a pearl just to touch your heart, so it may open more and more and more. And this is beautiful as well to work with. Just imagine you're being there and sitting, and the Queen of the Mermaids is coming towards you to help you opening your heart more and more, because that's where our power is, our divine feminine power. Then there's Melusine, and Melusine was a very elusive mermaid, and she was married to a landman. Mermaids can do so, and she loved him. But she asked for several days, a month, sometime, those days for herself, and he had to promise not to intrude upon that. She never told him what she was doing because he didn't know she was a mermaid. But those days she used to return to herself, to get that sacred retreat time to be fully mermaid. But the man who loved her very much, he really wanted to know after a couple of years, what was she doing in those days? So he started to spy upon her. And he really approved of what he saw. But Melusine noticed that he has been spying upon her, and so she left him and went back to the sea as she had warned him she would do. There are two aspects of this mermaid as well. There is she didn't trust him enough to tell him what she truly about her true essence, to be open, and this is something that is in a lot of relationships. How much do we dare to show ourselves? At the other hand, it was, of course, he didn't trust her, so he wanted to know what she was doing. So there are always two sides. Then there are the sirens, and Lorelei is a famous one. And it's, I just remember I once went to visit that place because it's in the next country here. I live in the Netherlands. And she was living on it said she was living on a rock in the Rhine. It's a river. And she was luring people, men, who she would drown. Sirens are all about the temptation and the seduction. And it's about, okay, don't use sexuality to get power over people. But the other side is have fun, be playful, be comfortable with your own body and your being. And she is the one who is depicted with the two tails. And we all know it from Starbucks logo, that the mermaid is two tails. And that's the mermaid who is just showing her sexuality. Then we have the shapeshifters, the Selkies, and that's about control and being controlled. It's as well about power versus inner strength, and about transformation and being able to move between worlds, between the land world and the sea world, but as well to move between this realm and the other realms. And then we have the Little Mermaids. I think most of us are really up to date with Andersen's fairy tale, and the Little Mermaid teaches us not to give away our essence. That's what makes us so beautiful. She really wanted to capture the love and the heart of a prince, someone she has seen, and she gave away her beautiful voice to, to capture his attention, to be able to walk on the land and to live on the land. But of course, she was not able to express herself, and she was fading away, and the prince never noticed her. And well, it was really a little bit sad ending. I loved the ending that she has been granted a soul, so she could live on. And that's another thing about mermaids. It's sad that they don't have a soul. I don't subscribe to that. To me, all sentient beings have a soul. And one of the reasons I think it's like that, it's because I feel I've been a mermaid in another lifetime. And as well, the last planets my soul rested upon before being embodied onto Earth for the human experience was Venus, and that is all about love and beauty and mermaids. So I would say they have a soul, and probably it has been a Roman church who was just dismissing mermaids because they were just too sexy for their own good, and they wanted their monks and men to be really, really celibate. And now I really like you all, and I can't see you, just to go within, close your eyes, because I like you to discover what aspect of mermaid is coming up for you today. And it's shifting day by day or year by year. And just go within, close your eyes, tap into your heart, and be mermaid. And by the way, this is one of my most favorite ways to connect to mermaid's wisdom, shapeshifting. And when you go within and sit on the rock, you notice your two legs becoming one tail. And maybe you can stroke with your hand over that tail. How does it feel to you? Is it rough? Is it smooth? What colors are speaking to you? Is your tail calm? Or just swishing a little bit to and fro in the waters? Are you able to notice the sun shining on your upper body? Can you just feel, while you're combing, the smoothness of your hair? And maybe you can hear the seagull above you. You can hear the splashing of a fish coming up for air and sun and joy. And maybe there's a song you're singing. What words are you singing? Maybe some dolphins are playing. Whale is coming up. And maybe the stars are beckoning to you because the night has been fallen in your personal experience. Just ask yourself now, what aspect of mermaid is important for you at this very moment in your life to tap into? Just trust. And this is a way that mermaid helps us with. Trust what's coming up, what's bubbling through, the very first thing that's bubbling up. Don't dismiss it. Just make a mental note of it. And when you've done that, just enjoy for a couple of moments being mermaid and being at one with that beautiful element, the water on. Now I'd like you to come back. Maybe you can share something in the chat. I still am not able to see anything, but
Anna Marie adds, excuse me, Anna Marie adds honesty.
honesty, yes, beautiful. And honesty is something that Mermaid is she's totally honest. She can't be different. She is who she is, and she is proud on who she is. And there's no need to not being honest, because she doesn't give what other people think of her. So, okay, maybe her honesty may hurt some other people or beings, but being honest is a beautiful gift. And it's easier to fall off the wagon of honesty than to stay honest. So it's a beautiful thing Mermaid may be able to support you with, to incorporate more and more into your life. And I don't know about you, but if you are like me, I am able to really, to whitewash some things. I can, and I'm not ashamed of that. When I see something wearing a dress I really don't like, I will try to say, okay, it's not, maybe not completely my taste, but when I see she's so proud on it, I will not say I think it's horrible. Why would I do so? Because that will undermine her esteem. So there's a balance here too. But honesty is such an important trait, to be honest and to be true to yourself, because that's what honesty is about in the end, being true to yourself.
So
And
then Sue adds flow.
yes, flow. Yeah.
IB adds grace. Barbara adds generosity.
Flow, grace, generosity. Yes.
IB continues with beauty, elegance, and color.
Yeah.
IB adds playfulness.
Yeah.
Carly mentions what you said earlier about being totally at ease with herself and doesn't feel any pressure to please others. Then continues with yes, that, not caring what other people think of her. And then Mary Beth adds trusting my own power.
Yes. And I think you all captured beautiful essences of Mermaid. And take note of this, because this is really what you're called to call in. So this will really help you to evolve your spirituality further and to be that beautiful vessel to hold the love and light. And those are all very important traits of mermaids. The flow, go with the flow. And if that may mean that sometimes you are not, it means as well that you're giving up control. And maybe it means sometimes that you're not there at time, or that you don't want to keep an appointment, or that you can't make your deadline, or things like that. Go with the flow, feel the easiness, the grace of the flow, the generosity of the flow, because all will be accomplished in its own beautiful, perfect time. And as well, that trusting your power, I think that was Mary Beth, that comes as well with incorporating the playfulness in your life, because that will really help you to level it up again. When you trust that what you feel, who you are, you trust that more than anyone else's opinion or about you. And let's face it, we never know the other as we do ourselves. And just to be the one you are, not to denote yourself, and stand up for it. And okay, maybe the biggest teachers in the world can tell you something, but when you don't feel that aha in yourself, that okay, actually I did know it. I did know it somewhere. It was buried, and I'm happy to hear it again. If you feel it's not true for you, it may be true for the rest of the world. It may not be true for you. And that's a really important tool to own. listen to yourself and to your own being. And for me, Mermaid has supported me very much with boundary work, because to me it was really easy to give in. Okay, it doesn't matter. Just I can do this. I can do this. But by doing so, I lost my essence and my magic, because I was totally exhausted most of the time, and I dived into that. I just dove literally into that burnout. And by helping me to accept my power and to really hold myself sacred and what I hold dear, it's so much more easier to have those boundaries. Because okay, why would I allow other people to break into my sacredness, into the wholeness of my being? So that was a really important lesson Mermaid taught me. uh, Another one is to be more playful and to go with the flow. I'm well, in human design, I'm a manifester, so I'm all about controlling and manifesting, and that's something Mermaid helps as well with manifesting. She's magical. She's able to scry. One of her instruments as well is the mirror, and that we can use as well to scry and to connect to to the the, the messages that may come in for the future, or to have that communication with grandmother moon. But it and that she helped me with, but it's as well the uh, nowadays, as I said before, with the galactic traveling. Mermaids, they are beings from the sea and from the waters and the star realms, the galactic, the universe, and for them their portal is the eternity sign. So when you work with Mermaid, you may just imagine that you are taking a journey, and journeying is, well, it's imagination, but that's the language of our soul. It's so important. And we can use that eternity sign as that jumping off point to jump from one realm to flip into one realm into the other. We can use one of the sides of the eternity sign. We can use the 0 point, the point of absolute stillness to use. And it's so easy when you just spin in the water, and just to flick that tail and to jump through the eternity sign, the portal into the star realms you would like to have some more information about, or to visit the council or things like that. And that reminds me that that was how Mermaid introduced herself to me. And I was a child, and some of you know that the heart of my soul is a certain beach in Spain. I just returned last week from that piece of land. And as a child, I used, and I still do, by the way, I used to just spin in the salty waters of the Mediterranean. It's quite a salty sea. And in the end, you spin, and then the sea, the water churns, and it becomes all bubbly and refreshing and evaporating and rejuvenating. And it's just fun, total fun. And when you do so, and she told me then there as well to read the waters, to read the waves. Okay, this wave I may be able to surf on, this wave I need to jump under, things like that, all the currents. But just use that spinning in the water, imagining when there's no water in your neighborhood, just doing so, and use this as that starting point to take that other journeys for more awareness and wisdom. As well, if you would like uh, to well, get Mermaid support, how to work with her. Uh, because there are some ways, of course, that may support you to connect deeper to Mermaid and to get all those beautiful things you're saying, the flow, the grace, the generosity. She has a generosity of spirit. She's so generous. She loves open-hearted, and the joy and the playfulness. The elegance, she's very elegant, charming, and color. Play with colors. Play with colors. Just, this today, wear another color than normally. What does it do for you? How does it help you? Do you feel Mermaid entering more in your life? Maybe you're more attracted to the bluish and the greenish colors right now, or some other colors. Um, the that you can use as well to call in Mermaid. Wear jewelry or those crystals. in her use from the waters, the greenish ones, the bluish one. This one is a beautiful example, I think. The just or call in the essence, moonstone will help you too, because that will help you opening up your intuition and to connect. And that way she is able to whisper her secrets and to guide you to you. The dream work is very important. Just use dream work, automatic writing, journaling, work with your chakras. Mermaid is really for helps you to open up your second chakra, sensuality, creativity. Mermaid helps you to open your heart chakra, as we discussed before, just by using that wand with the pearl on top and by touching it, opening. This is our reason to be love and light. And she helps you as well. She's very able to help you and support you with your sixth chakra, your third eye chakra, and to open up your intuition even more and to access your gifts and to grow them. So it will all become more stronger. You can rely more on it and trust it and follow it. Of course, do I miss some beautiful? Oh, yes. Take a salt bath. Meditate in a salt bath. If you don't have a bath, just take a salt foot bath and make a complete meditation out of it. Use that. Use all you have to connect to her, because she reaches out to her. She doesn't. She wants nothing else for you than being loved, feeling loved, and being totally in your power, and to do so with joy, gracefulness. Well, yeah, one of my favorite ways to work with Mermaid is to shapeshift. And the free gifts, what belongs to this talk, is a way to help you, to support you shapeshift to Mermaid. Merging is a way, but to me, merging might feel a little bit intrusive. So to me, it's better to shapeshift. To me, there is a difference, but maybe that's just my sense feeling about it.
Can you talk a little bit more about what you mean by shapeshifting?
Yeah, what we just did is just be that being. When you want to shapeshift into another being, like a dog, be that dog. Breathe as the dog. Just become that dog. You breathe like the dog, you feel your paws onto the floor, like with Mermaid, you feel that tail just flicking through the water. You feel the sun on your body. You feel that inner peace and confidence and being at ease. Just become totally that other being. And to me, that's shapeshifting. While merging is entering an already existing, in this case, mermaid's form, and just a little bit for me, this is at least, and to take over. I don't like, for me, I don't do that. I don't do it with animals. I don't do it with rocks. I don't do it with trees. To me, it's better to envision, imagine, be that other sentient being, and then to tap into the fullness of their being and their gifts and their shadow sides and everything like that. Does this make sense to you?
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
As always, what I'd like to invite the people that are with us live, feel free to ask questions or to kind of direct the conversation as you feel inspired to do so. So invitation for you guys to interact with us as well.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I totally like that too. And well, another way of working with Mermaid is, of course, using, well, what I use when I work with clients is the effervescence for your soul method. And that's a three-level layered way of soul level healing. And it starts with the physical level. We need to grow to make our vessel more firm, more wide, and to solidify and to grow it even more, to make it more firm. It's always a continuing story, so it can really hold the new influx of new energies, the higher energies. Then for Mermaid, I would say, okay, what I mentioned already, take that salt bath, drink a lot of water, eat sea vegetables, go swimming, walk into the water, things like that. Then there's a second layer, and I call that I lumped some bits together. And they are not exclusive, they are permeating each other's. And the second layer of essence for your soul, and I got that download for this after years of working with clients, and then my guides told me, okay, it's better to set up for people as well, to set up a regime, not a a regime. It's a little bit like something you can hold on to, a frame, a reference frame. That's it. And the energetic level is, for me, would be okay. Do that chakra work, do the aura cleansing, go belly dancing, because belly dancing is really beautiful to activate the second chakra, but as well to feel well into yourself, to feel loved, to feel beautiful. Start singing. Singing will help you to stand in your truth, to know who you are, and to be able to speak about it. And the third one, the spiritual level, the psychological level, and I really love that level, is okay, take those journeys, write a story about the queen of mermaids, connect to mermaids several times a day, and as well ask yourself, what would mermaid do? What? Be curious. Just call in all those kind of energies so you can really, really, like the the person who said the playfulness. Just ask mermaid, how can I incorporate more play and joy in my life? What would be the perfect way for me at this very moment to do so? And check in with yours regular times a day, because then she will be able to share it with you, and trust what is coming through. Always trust what does come through. When you are grounded, when you are connected, that what bubbles through is your answer for that very question.
1 second. Mary Beth has a question here, which I'm gonna address, and then I will ask you to add your 2 cents. Mary Beth is saying, could you please say more about mermaids and souls, having one or not? Where would not having a soul come from? The idea that a mermaid does not have a soul. Anything and everything that exists is consciousness. And because everything that exists is consciousness, everything that exists has a soul. Call it assigned to it or working with it. And mermaids are one of many intelligent, sentient, magical, mythical, mystical beings from our perspective. And of course they have souls. Where that would come from, the idea that they don't, is simply from people that are trying to create a fear or a separation to diminish the power and diminish the reverence for. And that would be my kind of answer to that, Mary Beth. Hopefully that's helpful. Florentine, anything else you'd like to add?
Well, no, I don't think so, because to me, as you say, mermaids, like fairies and other magical beings, they are beings as well. As Daniel said, they are sentient beings, they are conscious beings. The fact that we don't see them doesn't, in normal life, doesn't mean that they're not there. They are just living in other realms. And to me, a realm is just that you can enter other realms by using vortexes. But to me, they're a little, well, to me, it's like they're a little bit filmy and overlaying other realms, like our realm. And they are no less conscious and sentient beings, and being empowered by a God, all that is, than we humans are. To me, the telling that they don't have souls, they don't possess souls, like it's being said about mermaids. And for years have been said for women too, in certain times. But the fairies, the trees, we all have souls, but it was just too scary. The fear was too huge to allow this. And I'm sorry, but I do blame a little bit the Christianity. And to me, it's something that Lord Jesus really acknowledged, that there were that everyone has a soul, because all is love. In the end, all is love. And how could love not have a soul? But some older church fathers or men, they became scared. They became fearful of the power of other beings than themselves. And to me, it has to do with power. Power in certain people do corrupt. So it was easier to tell and to emphasize that they didn't have a soul. So, okay, they may be beautiful, but well, it's all about your soul. So just the they were just being put away, not being seen in their fullness. As well, what's yes, that's it. I think that answers it. Does this answer this for you, Mary Beth? And I still rely on Daniel because I don't see anything.
Anything else you would like to ask about that, Mary Beth, or is that good for you?
Yes, thank you. I did respond in the chat. Yeah, that those both of those answers made a lot of sense. And of course, it's because they were feared, right? The power, yeah. Yeah. So just to diminish their own, yeah, I get it. Yeah. Thank you.
One of the things that I'll add to this, which is which is something that Florentine reminded me of, though we don't often see mermaids, they are visible within our dimensional experience. It isn't so much that, so again, this is just my impression. This is my very limited understanding. Fairies and other folk in that dimension are in a different dimension than ours, and they reveal themselves to people that are able to cross dimensions. Mermaids, from my understanding, aren't necessarily in a different dimension than us. They just are very careful about who they show themselves to. I have a friend, for example, that's seen mermaids twice in her life, with people next to her that can corroborate and confirm that they saw mermaids. And so they are very present in our experience. They are very visible in our experience. They just don't show themselves very often, at least not yet. Hopefully, as we expand into our more inclusive and loving perspective of humanity, we will have more interaction with them, as we will with the Fae folk as well. But just wanted to kind of add that to the conversation.
Yes. Well, mermaid may show themselves more as well, most at twilight times, dusk and dawn, and of course it needs some some silence and calms to just see them probably in oneself. To me, they do live in this dimension, but in another as well, in another realm. So but they are here and as well, but they're very able to shift between all kind of existential existences. And I know that now you're saying so, I'm reminded of in Norwegian, the fishermen have been always looking for, and the mermaid there, they were really small. They pictured them as really small. And to catch a mermaid in their nets, because that would bring them luck. So I think it's very up to mermaids if they want to show themselves or not, as you said. And I love that you have a friend who really have seen a mermaid. And I think more people have seen mermaids, but ratio always takes over, and then other people say no, researchers or something. No, you can't have that. Must have been a dongon or a manatee, or I have no idea. And how can it be? Because a mermaid living in our oceans, they should have had a green skin or no skin at all or no hair, and that's where we people always are mistaken. Well, mistake, yeah, I think it's mistaken. We color everything through our lenses of being human. So a mermaid should adhere to those human laws, where I think mermaids have their own laws and they have their own way of dealing with the elements. And it's not to say that the humans has the only right way to do so. I don't think so, by the way. So yeah, it's beautiful. Yes, but they're very elusive, and they've got reasons for that. They were being, as I told before, in Atlantis, they were being lessened and harmed and things like that. So they really took themselves back to their own worlds, their living worlds. And as well, the oceans, we don't know a lot about our oceans yet. I think I've heard told that I think 80% or something is still unknown in the ocean. I don't know the percentage, just something like that. And I think, well, yes, well, probably they live there, somewhere deep, deep, where we can't follow them at once. But yeah, they must be there.
There's so the one of the stories that my friend told me was she was on the seashore for obvious reasons. She was on the seashore and there was a family nearby and there was a little kid, probably about 6 or 7, playing, and when the mermaids appeared, the kid saw them and he was like telling his parents, "Hey, look over there, there's a mermaid." And the parents didn't even bother looking up. They were busy doing their thing and they were like, yeah, and they completely ignored the kid.
Yes,
and my friend and my friend and her friend are both just like in awe that these parents aren't acknowledging that there's a mermaid that's right in front of them. And it's just so funny how, you know, the energies are such that they reveal themselves, and if the parents were meant to see them, the parents would have looked up, and for whatever the reason, the energies weren't aligned for them, and so they were inspired not to look up. And so it's just fascinating how all of these apparitions work so perfectly with those that are meant to experience it.
Yes, and that's, I think that's in the whole spiritual experience. Everything shows up for those or those who are ready to receive. And well, those parents probably were not able to tap into the miracle and wonders yet, or who knows. And I love that mermaid shows herself to the little child, because that speaks of the playfulness and the joy of the little child and the imagination. So that's, I think he was blessed too. Yes. And your friends were. Yeah.
Yeah. Mary Beth, go ahead.
Thank you. You know, when you're sharing that story, Daniel, and it goes along with what Florentine was just saying, it reminds me of that story about the Indians not seeing the white man come across in the boat. Like they couldn't see the boat, but the shaman could sense the energy changing. And then so it just wasn't even in their consciousness that there was such a thing as a boat, or that's sort of my understanding of it. So I wonder if that's why that's kind of what you were saying, Florentine, but you know, the parents like just don't believe that that's even possible. So I wonder if the more we believe it's possible, the more likely we would be able to have an experience of them or even possibly see them, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the more open-minded we are and open-hearted we are, the more ready we are to experience those kind of partitions. And yeah, I remember the same story you just told us about, and I think they mistook the sails for clouds or something like that, because their minds weren't able to translate what their eyes saw by that time. Yeah, and I think I do agree with you. It's the more open we are for miracles to happen, the more evidence there will be that things do exist, all kinds of beings like the fairies. And I can't blame those parents. I think 10 years ago, when you would have told me, okay, you're going to have a serious talk about mermaid or fairies, I would have said, how are you feeling? So it's all, yeah. Are you out of your mind? So it grows and well, of course, and in a normal in a normal setting, in my day-to-day life. I might mention Mermaid, but it's a little bit okay, not too much of it. So it's such a gift to have this kind of talks, and to feed our understanding, and yes, to open to open and to jump into those other dimensions and awarenesses. So yeah, I think I agree with you, Mary Beth. The more we open, the more we believe, the more things will become clear to us, so we can tap into it and they can support us, because that's of course the main reason, that they show themselves as well to support us to grow and to evolve, and to be able to hold those higher influx of energies that are coming in.
Yeah, what a beautiful and inspiring talk. Thank you, Florentine.
Thanks so much, Mary Beth, for being here.
Anybody else have any comments or questions? Okay. Florentine, we have about 15, 20 minutes. Anything else that you wanted to share?
No, I think I'm done a little bit about Mermaid. I did tap into a message from Mermaid for all of us for 2024, because 2024 is of course arriving. And what she's really expressing, that we should all focus more on joy. And joy is that feeling in us that permeates everything. When we are joyful, we share it with everyone who are willing to see it or not willing to see it. Joy permeates everything, and it will be very important to focus on that joy instead of all the negative things. Attention flows where the energies goes, and Mermaid tells us not to focus too much on the negative, because we will call it in more and more and more. And she told us, no, be free spirited, and really, incorporate more joy in your personal way, in your life, and more and more and more, because that way you will go through the waters, spirit up above the, just go like this above the surface, and just to spread the love and the light. And that's the biggest gift we can the world and others, to be that love and light as much as possible. And that will promote the joy, and joy is peace, and it's contentment, and it's sparkling, and she doesn't mean to say that there will be no hard moments, but just focus on the joy and not on the negativity. And to me, this is a beautiful message. For me, it really spoke to my soul. So I'm very grateful to Mermaid for this. Yeah, to allow this to
That's
come up.
The idea of focusing on joy is something that, gosh, pretty much every channel that I listen to talks about, in terms of an allowing into a more expansive understanding of who we are, and a more expansive experience of existing as humans on this incredible earth, is the invitation to recognize the joy. I was going to say recognize the joy in everything, but for me, joy is not the easiest word to align to and to recognize. And so I use the word peace. Being at peace with things, being at peace with what's going on with yourself, within yourself, doing the things that you enjoy doing. And so though joy isn't something that I personally resonate with, I can understand what it means to say, well, I enjoy doing this and I don't enjoy doing that, so let me do what I enjoy. And so by doing what I enjoy, I am following my joy. And so we all have different kind of associations to words and meanings and things. And, the invitation isn't to get hung up on, oh, well, I don't know what joy is, or I don't know, joy is really hard for me. It's about finding how that plays within your own instrument, your own human experience, and how that works within your your own language and your own descriptions and definitions. But following the things that you enjoy doing versus the things that you don't enjoy doing is the invitation that we keep on hearing all the time, more and more.
Yes. Oh, I didn't know that. But yeah, it's and I think that's the beauty of this of being that spiritual being in that human body, that we all can translate to our own experience, because we are all one, but we're as well all individual. So if to you peace, the word peace speaks more to you, that's perfectly all right, because that equals joy as well. To me, joy is more sparkling, but that's me. And so I think that's the beauty of this kind of messages. And I really didn't, well, I haven't listened to a lot of people lately, or channels, is that we can all translate it. And by doing so, we will all offer our own transformational process towards the bigger whole. And as we are all part of the whole is as well part of us. So it will all come together in the most perfect way and in the way that is needed and probably expected too. So yeah, I like that you add onto this with your observation about the using of the words. This is what Mermaid told me, but I don't think she has any problems with peace. So I think that's a beautiful addition. Thank you, Danielle.
Absolutely. So Mary Beth mentions that 2024 is going to be an 8-year, which is the eternity symbol, which is something that you were talking about earlier. So there's going to be a lot of alignment with that.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful, Mary Beth. Yeah. Yeah.
She just adds here, I'd also like to give a personal testimonial for working with Florentine. I have a very positive and helpful experience. I had a very positive and helpful experience. Thank you, Mary Beth.
Thank you, Mary Beth. Yeah, you're wonderful. Yeah, thank you.
So, mermaids, divine feminine. It's really fascinating. Yesterday, when we were doing the session with Jennifer Hawkyard, she's an artist and she was showing us incredible artwork. So if you happen to miss that talk, definitely catch it in the replay. Or if you're seeing this after the fact, once they're made public to the rest of the world, I would definitely recommend Jennifer's conversation. She showed us an image that she created of a tree, and underneath the tree within the roots was a figure of a feminine, very clearly defined feminine representation within the root structure of the tree. And what was fascinating, and I don't think that she intended this, but within the design underneath the woman there, the way that she created it, I could clearly see a man holding her up, which was just so spectacular for me. Because for me, whenever people talk about the divine feminine, for me, it's about the balance, which is what Florentine was talking about earlier. You know, this balance of the divine feminine, divine masculine is really, really important. And this is what we're going into. We are not going into a divine feminine state. We are going into a divine balance of energies, which includes both equally and fluidly. And so this idea of recognizing the masculine as part of the feminine conversation is really helpful. So Florentine, we've got about 20 minutes. I just wanted to kind of give you enough time to share anything else that you would like to share. And of course, talk about, how to work with you, the special invitation that you're offering, and just kind of go from there.
Yes. Well, just to relate back to what you're just saying is, I think one of the biggest tasks, not the task of the masculine divine, is that to honor and to carry the divine feminine, to hold her sacred, to honor her, and to make sure that she can be who she is, that energy. So yeah, and I haven't seen the picture, the painting you were telling about, but I can imagine it a little bit. Well, the way to work with me is you can always book an Activate Your Brilliance call, so we can work and see what mermaids want to bring in for you, how to work with that, and well, to go further from that. I offered for 50%, so you can always send me an email at Florentine at bubblesforyoursoul.com, and then I will react. As well, I've got a beautiful website. I think it's beautiful. So you can check out my offerings there. I do as well intuitive animal communications for animals, well, being embodied or in spirit. And as well, I'm going to offer a very exclusive, a very small group mastermind starting from January, just to a couple of people. So we can be together, and I will support you in growing more and evolving more into your spirituality. Because that inner empowerment is truly the greatest gift that you can give yourself, and to grow it even more, and to dive deeper into that divine feminine and masculine, into the soul journeys and all kinds of spiritual practices and experiences, and that is my aim. It will be a 4 months long mastermind, every 2 weeks a session together, and then in between contact, so we can all grow and evolve and be that vessel to hold the energies and to shine our light as much as we can. And to me, to be the light and love we truly are, and to be able to radiate it is the biggest gift of being a spiritual being in a human body. And that's what I aim for, and that's what I try to provide the people I work with as well, to give them that security and that inner wisdom, and to grow that. So that are ways to work with me. Of course, I give as well sessions to help you understand who you are, and to heal, and all that kind of stuff. And I love doing so. I love supporting people and animal companions. So that's the way to work with me. Check out the free gift, because I think it's a beautiful guided meditation and journey to connect to Mermaid on a deeper level, in your own time, at your own pace, and to come back to time after time. And I think this is it for me for today.
There's a question from Anne-Marie, which is any guiding mermaid words when in a place of discouragement and weariness?
Yes, take your rest. Do what Melusine showed us. Just offer yourself the sacred gift of retreat and diving deep into yourself. What is it you were expecting? Why is it that it didn't came through? But before answers can come in, and understanding and comprehension, and the healing can start, you really need to go deep and to go into that sacred temple of yourself, not to stay running, but to allow yourself those retreats, those days of being with yourself. And yeah, trying to figuring out what happened. Why do I feel discouraged? What kind of expectations did I carry? Just to fertilize yourself and your psyche. That's what Melusine came up with for you for now.
Thank you for that. And Barbara just again adds some beautiful words for you, which is, I've had a fabulous reading by Florentine with animal communication. She is the real deal. She reads with humor, love, and joy. She is magical. Thanks so much, Florentine, from Barb.
Thank you, Barb. I love that too. I love that you're all here. Thank you so much.
Okay, so anybody else have any other last minute questions? I'll give you guys a moment. So Florentine, thank you so much again for being part of this project, and thank you for supporting me and sharing with us your wisdom and your connections with different energies. Tony says, thank you, Florentine. I apologize for camera being off and the wrong name. Florentine is a joy to work with. Appreciate her and her insight, Jody. So it's not from
Hi.
Tony, it's from Jody.
Hi, Jody.
Hi, Jody. Thanks for being here. Lovely to have you.
Thank you. Well, I can't see anything, so
Yes,
Jody,
yes.
we're equal here.
So thank you guys for joining us live. We appreciate you being here and playing with us. In about 30 minutes, more or less, we have Ana Maria Vasquez, who's she specializes in the natural realm, and she's going to be talking to us about rocks. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. We spoke about trees last season that she was on, and this season we're talking about rocks. So hopefully you can join us. And as always, the reminder is going to go out in a few minutes. It'll be at 30 minutes before. And there's a bunch of thank yous, Florentine, in the chat for you and for me. Thank you guys both.
Thank you.
And so until next time, I will leave you with being spirit, being human, and simply being from love. Bye-bye. Thank you for being part of this incredible experience. We hope that this session has inspired a new level of understanding within you, allowing you to expand more easily into the essence of your true self and become an even more powerful alchemist in your own life. We invite you to listen to the session again and again in order to go deeper each time and expand even more, have it be via the replays or the unlimited access package. If you have enjoyed being part of this event, we invite you to tell your friends so that they can join us in the future. We are grateful that you are here, and we thank you for co-creating this experience with us. Until next time, we leave you with being spirit, being human, and simply being from love.